what happens once you don't trust yourself and you trust them? They become God to you.
Release that self-doubt and give yourself that self-love. And just like you said, just say what you need, short and sweet, please and thank you.
So it's injecting within you all the time that your self-doubt is true. You have a right to doubt yourself.
Some people are just not worth my time and energy, and just realizing just the acceptance of some people I just don't want to be around.
Why is this part of the game of gaslighting?
Some people just stay assholes.
That's the beauty of gaslighting. It's disgusting, but it's the beauty and the gift of somebody gaslighting you.
I'm portrayed as an aggressor when I react to their gaslighting. So why are we portrayed as the aggressor when we are like outing the person or reacting to them gaslighting us?
Another thing that happens and why it's so easy for us to get gaslighted is
What makes the gaslighting techniques of a narcissist effective? And how can we recognize and resist their manipulation? Rain, help us here.
oh, okay. So first, a quick thing. Gaslighting is basically a way in which someone's truth trumps yours. And it's not an argument between you and them. It's mainly you believing their truth over yours. Okay. That's the idea of gaslighting. So what makes it so effective and that narcissists are so able to do this with us with such ease is because the most important thing is to understand that we have a lot of self-doubt. We doubt our thoughts, we doubt our intuition. God, we can't even hear it. And if we do, we're not listening to our intuition, we're actually hearing the fear within our body. It's not even intuitive. We don't trust that yes, we saw the thing. Yes, this person said the thing. Oh, yeah, you said this, we said this. They don't trust any of that. So as an empath or as a sensitive person or as somebody who's had narcissists in their lives growing up, there's this constant state of self-doubt. I don't trust my reality. I don't trust what I see. I don't trust what I hear. I don't trust what I say. So I can't even remember what I said. And maybe I did say what this person is gaslighting me into. Because in gaslighting, they deny you. They deny all of you. So all of you is what you think, what you hear, what you feel, what you taste, everything about you is you. So they start to deny you. That's gaslighting. Why does it affect us so easily? Is because, first of all, we trust everybody else's opinion above our own. And why do we do that? We simply do that because when we did have an opinion when we were little, or we did hear something, or we were being abused, we were told it's not true. We were told it's a lie. No, you saw it wrong. No, that's not what you actually heard. You know, when you're like, oh, I feel so uncomfortable around this person. And your mom or dad will be like, why? They're loving. This is your uncle. This is my best friend. No, there's nothing wrong with this person. Your gut was telling you there's something off, but they denied you. So now all of a sudden, all your truths have been shat on in a sense, have been belittled. And with narcissistic parents, or even just parents, let's not even say they're narcissistic. A lot of times in the parents from before deny the child what they're seeing and feeling, not knowing that these children are more attuned to truth than the grown-ups are, right? So you've been brought up to believe that your truth is wrong. So of course, by the time you're older, everyone else's opinion is a lot more valuable. Why? Because when you stopped disagreeing, your parents were happier with you, right? When you weren't telling them something that their intuition was telling them, but they're in denial and they can't live without this person, this friend, this partner, right? And you agree with them, they feel more at peace. But it's like you start to trigger people into their wounds and truths. So when you are in self-doubt, that's how it happens. So your opinions don't matter. Everyone's opinions matter. Another thing that happens and why it's so easy for us to get gaslighted is the tone of voice that is used. There's a tone of voice that narcissists use that feels a bit sarcastic and jokey and demeaning. So it's this tone that you receive where you have to doubt yourself because they're not even taking what you're saying seriously. So then how can you take it seriously? Remember, your opinion doesn't matter to you, everyone else's. So because you're so highly attuned to people's tones of voices to feel safe, You hear the tone in the narcissist, and this is sometimes how it sounds like, oh no, like you were probably daydreaming like you always do. They'll use words that you shared about yourself, like I'm such a daydreamer, or I sometimes don't concentrate, or um, I lose track of time, and you're saying it in a funny thing about you, but then they take it and they use it against you. So then you start to believe it. That's because this is something you shared. You're thinking, well, they've noticed that I'm a daydreamer, therefore now they're using it against me to to enforce the gaslighting that's happening. So it's one truth and two lies, right? So there's a truth, but then there are lies. So you start to believe it. Sorry. So the tone of voice is very important. That's a sarcastic or the brushing off or the anger, like, what? You mad? Do you never think like how would I ever say we're going out to a restaurant at 5 o'clock? Don't you know that I have work till 6 or something so out of whack that you're like, did I hear it wrong? But yeah, sometimes I don't remember things, or maybe I was in my head. And you, instead of like outing them and saying, hey, that's not true, and trusting yourself, you start to go into even more self doubt, which is perfect for the narcissist because the reason gaslighting is done is so that they keep breaking down your self confidence. So even if you had like 50% self confidence, by the time you've lived and been with a narcissist, you basically have 2%, right? And this 2% confidence isn't like, I have to pee. I know I have to pee because I feel it. Like it has to be something so clear and obvious, but it's not intuitive and it isn't like you trusting yourself. So they break you down. So now what happens once you don't trust yourself and you trust them? They become God to you, right? Their opinions matter. They're the more sane because that's how they present themselves. I know more. I'm smarter. I can see it. Oh, you keep repeating the same thing over and over again. So it's injecting within you all the time that your self doubt is true. You have a right to doubt yourself, the fear of your childhood state. You have a right to doubt yourself because even I am telling you you're wrong. So that's gaslighting in general. Now, your self doubt is the biggest pitfall. And the coolest thing is the more you deny your truth, that's how you can figure out how much self doubt you have. So the funkiest part about this is self-discovery. It's always self-discovery. You're going to be like, oh my God, how many lies did I believe to be true that were not true to only discover later on that I was right, right? And that's how you start to monitor, oh, my self-doubt is this high. Okay, how can I start to trust myself a little bit more? Because the more you trust yourself, the more you believe in what you saw, what you heard, what you tasted, what you experienced, what promises were given to you, the more you trust in that, the less they're able to gaslight you. It's the only remedy is trusting myself. How do I release doubt? This is one of my biggest journeys in life, going from doubt to trust. Biggest journeys. It was so hard to do because it's like it feels terrifying in the body because you've been wronged so much when you were little, right? You've been wronged so much, although there has been proof that you were right throughout the years. You've been wronged so much that it's so scary. So now I'm afraid to be wrong is the big taboo that you're facing. Now, if we can take, I am afraid, so afraid to be wrong. And you're afraid to be wrong. Why? Because you were shamed and guilted out of it. Shame is one of the things that we try to avoid the most in our lives. So I would rather guilt and shame myself than have anyone shame me and do this or guilt me or make me sound crazy. I want to I want to take hold of it, own it on my own, resolve it and figure it out. But coolest thing is if once you are aware that you are feeling ashamed of yourself, you're like, oh, I'm in a place that's so dark. And because I've been gaslighted, I'm blaming myself, I'm shaming myself, I'm in this space, I'm losing myself more and more. Right now there's a loss. It's not losing them. It's not about them anymore. It becomes about you. I'm losing me, but I don't want to lose me anymore. What you're going to do is whenever, if ever you can remember to take voice notes. Okay. There was a dinner planned. He said he'll take out the garbage. He's supposed to pick up the kids, not me. I do remember that the color of the car was blue. We did say like everything. If you can keep a reminder for yourself on a note, if you have a little note on the phone, this is going to help you to go back. And you can also use it for your intuition that you can't hear that well if you haven't really like tapped into it. What you're going to say is, I don't feel safe around X. Keep it on a voice note. I don't feel safe around X. I don't know why. My body doesn't enjoy it. Right. And then your gaslighter will come and convince you that this X is really, really amazing. But you have it as a note. So you can go back. And this is how you're going to build trust with yourself, because you're going to have proof that what you thought, what you saw, what you heard was truth. Okay. A lot of my clients would have cheaters. Their spouses would be cheating on them. They're narcissistic, and they would completely like as if it wasn't true. And they would continue to say it's not true, so much so that she would come and say, I'm not even sure anymore. I saw him holding her hand. They were together. I saw the message. Like, it's so clear. She was there. She saw him. She read the messages. And he persisted and insisted that she's insane and it was nothing and she's wrong. And what's wrong with her, that she starts to doubt. But if she had those on her phone to constantly refer back to and look at, you would feel the trust in yourself, because you wouldn't call yourself crazy. Gaslighting is called crazy making also. So another way that it is so effective and can harm you is the way in which they're so confident. Okay, so that goes into another one of our episodes. We talked about this. So because they're so confident about what they're saying, and you have so much, like, you're in doubt and you trust everyone else's opinion above your own. Everyone else, really, you really trust their opinion. What they think of your hair. Like 2 days ago, I was sitting outside in my front yard. I usually sit out there with my kids or I play, and I like to see my neighbors. And one of the neighbors, who I know is a narcissist, but I kiss her hello because I don't really care. And she comes in and she's like, about my streak, because usually it's like darker blue. She's like, ew, it's so ugly. It's green. And I remember looking at her and thinking, huh, I told her, but I love it. She's like, but it's really ugly. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. Right. It didn't irk me. My kids were shocked. They were like, why would, and it didn't irk me at all. Now, next time anything like that happens, instead of being like, oh, she's ugly, oh, how dare she talk to me this way? I'm like, great. So what is a new sentence I can come up with if somebody wants to point out something that they find ugly in me, just because that's what they feel like saying? I'm going to say, oh, that's your opinion. So I start to shorten my answers. So it's a good way when stuff like this happens, instead of going into that pain body, is thinking, oh, I didn't react. I reacted better than I did before. However, how can I fine tune it even more, where I even the gaslighter, I can just completely be like, so you're constantly in refining, you're building up your self-worth slowly, slowly. So these experiences, when they show up, they're telling you, hey, okay, how can you shorten the sentence more? How can you say it differently where they can't continue saying the same statement? That's your opinion. That's what came up. When it happens, if it ever happens, now I have a statement. Like, I have to teach myself these things. These don't come naturally, because even when they did as kids, these responses would come naturally. We would be shut down. We would be shamed, right? We would be gaslighted out of it. So now I have to teach myself. Okay, I give myself a few sentences. Experiences happen. I wish I had said that, right? Like a month ago, a narcissist just went insane on me, my brother-in-law. He just insane in public and went crazy. And I was yelling back because I was so happy to have my throat chakra open. After it was done, he was just insane. After he was done, I'm like, when my nervous system relaxed because I was being attacked, I thought, oh my God, what am I going to learn from this? Because there was so much hate towards him. But I was like, I don't want a revenge. I don't care. Nothing will happen. But he gaslit me so intensely. And so I stepped back and I was like, okay, next time, what would be a better approach? I'm teaching myself, right? So the better approach, what showed up for me was, next time I'm going to be completely quiet and I'm going to call 911, right? So this is the plan. Next time anybody yells at me and just humiliates me in public in the middle of the street, I'm not going to answer back, right? Because it's pointless. And I'm just going to let them blab away and not let it affect me and just think that's a crazy person talking. So this is how you start to evolve with yourself. These situations help you evolve towards a better way of dealing so your nervous system hasn't gone into whack. So that's kind of like what working with gaslighting is. You're going to work with yourself all the time. Everything is for you. It's not for anyone else. Why is it for you? Because the more you are in your confidence, the more you are capable of trusting yourself and your thoughts and your memories and what you're seeing to be true, the more valuable you are to your children, to family members, to other empaths, right? The more you can have their back as an empath. Because narcissist will have your back only if it has to do with somebody else hurting you. Because to them, what the hell, she's mine. I need to hurt her myself, right? And they will have your back and you'll think, oh, it's so sweet. They have my back. They don't, right? But other empaths, other beautiful sensitives need your confidence to have their back until they know how to have their back, their own back, but they're having their back by a beautiful entity, by a sensitive entity, unlike having their back by a narcissist. So gaslighting affects is so effective only when we lose our confidence in ourselves. So self-doubt, we don't trust who we are, we don't trust our memory, we don't trust our senses, we don't even hear our intuition. And we're living in a constant state of fear and shame about ourselves. Okay, we are ashamed of who we are, right? And other people's opinions are number one priority, right? Like, oh, did she not like my hair? Like if I was in that place that I used to be in, I'd be like, oh my God, I should go fix it. I would have rushed upstairs and put the dye and fixed it and taken it so seriously, like my life depended on it, right? When who cares, right? Like in general, who really cares whether she liked it or not, or whether anybody liked it or not? And that's how you gain your power. And you can't be gaslighted by politics. You can't be gaslighted by coworkers, by bosses, by anything, because even they get scared to gaslight somebody who is fully in their strength and trust themselves. They cannot. They cannot. They have no power. And then they kind of leave you because they don't have the power. What power do they want? These are the reasons they want to control you. They want to dominate. They want you to be resistant free. Okay. One of the highest things they want you is to have no resistance to any of their suggestions. Okay. Because if I doubt myself, I have no resistance to anyone telling me anything. I can be brainwashed like this, which we all are with the media, right? We're brainwashed into, we're being gaslighted by movies. This is how you fall in love. This is how teenagers have to act. This is what kids look like. And we're being brainwashed to believe that this is what relationships look like, right? But if I trust myself, I'll know, oh, there's something in here telling me something, and I need to trust it. So whatever they're saying is a lie because I believe me. It's like having your own back for the first time in your life, and these are the steps to do it. You keep notes. You must keep notes, so that you can refer back because now you're adding data to your system of how much you can trust yourself. You keep notes. I don't care if it's proven 10 years later that it's true. You're going to keep that note and you're going to believe it's true. It's that simple. Yeah.
Mm, yeah. And I want to add to that just having acceptance and just coming to realize, like, as an empath, there was something in me that just felt like, oh, there's good in everyone. And, these are just wounded children. They're just wounded people. And if I just give them enough love and if I just show them, they're going to learn and whatever. And I've just realized with some people, they don't. Some people just stay assholes. So for me, it was a big thing to just, it was a big pill for me to swallow that, you know what? Some people kind of just aren't that lovable. They're just kind of mean. They're not nice. And it's not worth my effort or energy to put so much into it when literally it's like, for me, it's like, and I don't know if it's a game for me, like, ooh, if I just put more into it, eventually I'm going to win them over. And then, wow, that's going to be so rewarding. And oh, it's going to prove to myself I was right that yes, I can love everyone and they will love me back. No, I finally came to the point of some people are just not worth my time and energy and just realizing just the acceptance of some people I just don't want to be around and they're not worth being around and they're just not nice and they're not kind and they are pretty empty inside and they are good at fooling and faking it. And it's just, I don't want to have anything to do with them. And that's okay. And there's a lot of those out there. I'm actually surprised how many are out there that I'm like, I just don't want to have anything to do with them. So acceptance is a good one.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
okay. You're not a bad person for feeling that or thinking that. Find the people that resonate with you. Find the people that you naturally, that build you up and that you can naturally be your essence and that you feel safe around. However, if you are around a narcissist, with many of you probably are, because they are the gift in your life to show you your disempowered self, see that as the gift and learn from them. Build yourself up, build your confidence, your self worth, release that self doubt, and give yourself that self love. And just like you said, just say what you need, short and sweet, please and thank you. And anyway, yeah.
Yes. So the please and thank you, that's on our other episode, which we are really promoting you to watch because it goes hand in hand with this one. And we'll link it up. We'll link it up to this one so you guys can see that. And just know that you being gaslighted, there's no problem with it. It's just you coming to terms and learning that you're being gaslighted. It's a great way to figure out how much you doubt yourself. That's basically it. It's just helping you figure out how to go into more self-trust. That's all it is. That's the beauty of gaslighting. It's disgusting, but it's the beauty and the gift of somebody gaslighting you is you get to know more about yourself and trust yourself even more. And I think we had a question, Mel.
Oh yeah. I wanted to make one more comment. Just know that a lot of people out there are going to say things, and a lot of times it's just not true. It's not true and it's not kind. And so that's another thing to be mindful of. Like, you just don't have to believe them. Just don't believe what people say. Brush it off. Let it go. Don't let it absorb into you and you go into, is it true? Is it? It's like, doesn't matter. Like, let it go. Just know a lot of people are going to say mean things or things that don't matter. So just, yeah, let it go. But yeah, we wanted to, I'm so glad you remembered this. We had someone that commented on one of our recent episodes. And so I wanted to read her question and us really answer that. So she had said, the problem is I'm portrayed as an aggressor when I react to their gaslighting. So why are we portrayed as the aggressor when we are like outing the person or reacting to them gaslighting us?
Well, one of the main objectives of gaslighting is that when you are in a state of trusting your truth, what happens is we start to get really angry inside because we know we're being manipulated. And so we express that anger. We start to defend ourselves. We start to express ourselves. And it is portrayed as being aggressive, but that's also part of the game. Part of gaslighting is in front of others or even with that person for you to be like, no, this is not true. That's not, I did see you. It was you that I saw, or this is what you said. So you start to be really aggressive because you're defending your truth. Why is this part of the game of gaslighting? It's because it's to prove that you are the crazy one. It's to make it sound like you are the nut job. Look at you. You're like going crazy here trying to prove yourself right. All I'm saying, it wasn't me. I wasn't there. Look at you. You're like jumping off the thing. She's crazy. So everyone else in the room, let's say you're saying doing this at work, you're looking like the crazy one, which then proves more and more so that if they do go and triangulate or they have their flying monkeys around, and there's a whole episode you can watch on flying monkeys and triangulate. I think we'll even keep that episode, which is really important, the 7 signs of narcissistic abuse. And we've got a few of the signs there. So flying monkeys in general is like all the people that they've manipulated to be on their side against you. So when you go crazy, he can simply be just eye them, just look at them, be like, look what I told you is crazy, right? Or he is crazy. So that's part of what actually happens when you start to trust yourself. And that's okay. They're going to do that just because now they're losing the control over you. You are starting to stand up for yourself. So they have all these people aligning with them so that you can, if you are very invested in other people's opinions, you'll break down. And that's okay. You're going to break down and just break down. And then you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, that was insane. They're so aggressive. The other thing that's really important, you're going to notice this more with parents and of course with your partner. Well, actually all narcissists, they are the only ones allowed to have feelings. So they're the only ones allowed to get angry and rage and frustrate and like walk out and scream and break things and hit you or whatever the craziness is. they're the only ones allowed to do that. So if you have an emotion showing up, they will never, ever, ever allow you to have it. Okay. It will always become about them. So it'll be like, look how crazy she is. In other words, look how sane I am. Poor me. Look what I have to deal with. Right. You become the crazy because you have emotions. When they have emotions, they're not crazy. Why? Because it's your fault for making them feel this way. So it's always you are the problem, right? So the reason you're portrayed as an aggressor because it's part of the game. It's also very, very delightful for them when they've gaslighted you for so long that you have no resistance, as I said earlier. And then if they do this to you, because now they've pressed too many buttons, they do this. You know how irritating it is when someone's like doing that to you? I have that mummy, 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 right? You do that. That's kind of what you're doing with gaslighting. It's been so long that you're so lost and confused. And then you're like, and they're like, told you she's crazy, but it's done on purpose. Do not shut yourself down. You feel like it, say it. You get angry, say it. Okay. You're going to feel ashamed of yourself. Take care of your shame on your own, right? But give yourself that freedom, the freedom to be aggressive, freedom to stand up for yourself, the freedom to out it out. That's okay. They're going to be like these in the cartoons when you watch like the evil witch where now she's like, oh my God, they're escaping. I must do more. Let me brew up an apple where I can poison her or whatever. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try to fuck it up so much more, excuse my French. And you're just going to be resilient no matter what. You're going to out it out. And in time, you're going to notice that your anger isn't going to be so heightened because you're going to have more confidence. So you're just going to out it out without even being angry. You're going to be like, not true. Disagree.
Yeah.
Your opinion, not mine. And you're going to form into that person. But at first, you have to give
Yeah.
yourself that freedom to really be the aggressor that you want to be and let people say what they want to say. You know, it's their freedom too. As long as you can give them the freedom to have an opinion about you that you may not like, you will have the freedom to have an opinion about yourself that you do like. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
I have a really good example for this. This was crazy. So, as an empath and just, anyways, definitely thinking everything was my fault and being insecure and all that stuff. It was so interesting. I realized like I'd get in these arguments with my partner and um, I would I would get tone and he's just like, I don't like the tone because that's like what your mom has. And so and I knew that I was like, I don't want to have that because she gets tone and negative a lot. And I'm like trying to break that. And after 19 years of marriage, I realized, oh my gosh, for the first time, literally 19 years of me just like, oh, he's right. I did have tone. I need to look at that. I was wrong, whatever. I realized, Mel, why did you have tone? And it was like, oh my gosh, because he said something that was pretty belittling. He said something belittling to me. So it's like I felt like I was shit on. And because I voiced like, ew, I didn't like that, he's like, oh, did you just have tone there? It's kind of like, oh, so it's okay for you to shit on me. And because I say your shit stinks, then, but I said it too with tone or whatever, that's not okay. So as soon as I started to question Mel, yes, he's right with what he said, which he's so vocal. The moment that I had tone and anger that he didn't like, he has the gift of just saying what he needs. I don't like that. But I didn't go back to question Mel, why did you have that tone? And the truth was, oh my gosh, it's because he said something that wasn't nice. And guess what? If you say something that's not nice to me and you shit on me, yeah, you're going to get my tone and I'm going to be angry and I'm going to be upset and I'm going to be valid in it. But it took me 19 years to realize that I was okay with my anger and frustration and tone. I didn't know that for so long. And luckily, I have an amazing partner that we've been able to talk through it and I'm able to catch him on it because it's his autopilot from the way he was raised. His dad did that. And now he's like, at least he's like, I'm so sorry. I know that's how my dad would speak. Like I'm really trying to work on that. So now I call him out and I don't internalize it as I'm wrong and broken and I did something wrong. And it is so empowering and so freeing. So that's just an example that maybe some of you go through stuff like that. Question the things they say, and now it doesn't even hurt me anymore. I'm like, no, don't talk to me that way, and I won't have tone.
Ah, that
And then
is
I walk away.
beautiful.
It's
That
great.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's true. Like that's someone who really stepped into their confidence. They're okay with their tone. They're okay with their aggression. They're okay with how they express things.
Yeah.
If somebody else doesn't like it, it's okay. That's okay. If he doesn't like it, she doesn't like it. That's okay. Right?
But I'm
And
not
it's
gonna. Yeah, but I'm not going to just be nice. If someone's rude and belittling to me, there's going to be a response to that. I'm not just going to be, well, yep, Mel, you need to be this perfect, evolved little Buddha that just, oh, well, don't talk to me. Like, no, don't talk to me that way. That was rude, or I'm not going to respond to that. Maybe check your tone or the way that you spoke to me. Like, we need to feel the confidence that we can protect ourselves. And I never had that before. And it feels really damn good to have that confidence and to be like, no, I have the right to. And guess what? You're not going to get any tone out of me or anger out of me if you don't treat me like shit. Easy, done. That's on you. That's on you. You go look at your stuff. I'm done looking at my stuff. I've already looked at it. Your turn, sweetheart.
And the coolest part is, just because I know now you're all looking at this and thinking, oh my God, how do I do that? It's going to be rude. What the most important trick of the trade is to face the fear of losing that person, to sit and face the fear and take the fear all the way to the end. I'm not with this person. They left me because I have a tone. They left me because, and go through it all until the attachment to, I have to make it work. I can't out gaslighting. I can't da 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 da. I can't be aggressive. Whether they stay or leave, I will still take care of myself. And it's that fear that keeps us small. And until you pass through that fear. And I know that's what Mel did. She passed through the fear of losing her husband, or she's madly in love with him. And she went through it and she's like, you know what? I can live without that person. And so that attachment of needing to please to keep the person was gone. And then she was able to speak her truth because it didn't matter anymore. Right?
I'm so glad you mentioned that. It's true. That's what I had to go through. And I'm like, it's so sad that I felt like I had to go through. For me, that was like the worst of the worst. I'm like, I literally can't imagine a life without this person. I can't imagine being with somebody else, dating someone else, putting the energy into someone else. I don't even want to do that. But I literally was like, coming back home to me, like, I have to protect myself. And I was like, no, you don't get to talk to me this way. But the reason I never did that in 19 years, because I was too afraid. For me, it opened the door of, if I try to protect myself and say, hey, you don't get to talk to me that way, what if he says no? And I've already committed to myself, if he says no, I'm going to do this or whatever, then I was like, I knew, Mel, you have to honor your commitment. You'd have to leave. And so I wasn't willing to chance that and say that until I knew. I don't care if he says yes or no, fine, then you're going to lose out on me. And that was really scary. It was really scary to do that. It's not what I wanted to do, but I felt like I had to face it. And now I am unattached to anything and everyone. I'm not attached to life, to spouses, to kids, to people, to nothing. And it is my freedom. Not that I want to lose any of them. I definitely do not. But that is my freedom of, I'm coming to me. I'm protecting me. I am number one. No one gets to shit on me. I am a good person. I am nothing but love. I give nothing but love, but I can protect myself, and I'm not going to let people walk all over me like I have my whole life. And it feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It feels amazing.
So I give you the permission to do the same, to sit with it and be like, okay, what would it look like if I wasn't with this person? What would it look like? Not that that's what you want to do, but if you can get to that and realize, you know what? It's not worth just the money that I'm getting from this person, or it's not worth whatever little thing you're getting from them. You realize, I'm such a badass. I can go and make my own money without dealing with this emotional abuse that I'm dealing with. It's not worth it. And when you get there, nobody can stop you. You have everything. You have everything. You have the inside, the outside, the protection. You have it all. And you're going to start living your best life. And we want that for all of you.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'd love to know, like, what have you gone through? Like, what are you experiencing? How have you been gaslighted? How much of yourself do you trust, actually? Like, how much of yourself do you trust? And share that with us. And which ways have you been gaslighted that you've figured out? And let us know if these techniques work for you and how they've worked for you. Try them out for a week and comment. And I think we're complete. Go
Oh,
ahead, Mel.
yep. I love that. Yeah, we'd love to hear your comments, like she said. So please connect with us and share some of the ways that you've grown and your takeaways from this episodes or any of these things that Rain mentioned. So we'd love to hear from you, and we'll comment back to you to connect with you that way. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this episode, and then you'll hear all the latest episodes. Check in our description. We're going to have a link to our Buy Me a Coffee account where we have some great ebooks and e-guides to help you on your personal growth journey, as well as some beautiful jewelry and products. Or you can donate just to help us keep going as well if you love what you hear from us. And then comment, and then make sure to watch our next episode that we have. We mentioned a couple episodes that are really great that tie into this one. We're going to link them up to make it easy for you. Just click on those, and we'll see you on the next episode. Just click here.